Guys, Dr. Cordy Williams, hashtag Megaphone Marine, hashtag 1776 Forever Free, and coming live to you from Health From Within Family Wellness Center. But just wanted to get in front of my son, little Cordy, right here in his picture, and kind of bring a message to you guys today. I was doing some training with Doug Gibbs. What is going on? Good to see you guys. God bless you. God bless you. But I was doing some training with Doug Gibbs today, and it was about the midnight judges. What was it called? Midnight, I'm trying to remember it. Midnight judges, midnight appointments in the 1800s. So you had George Washington. After George Washington, you had John Adams, you had Thomas Jefferson, and then James Madison. Now, if you ever would have asked me to tell you this story, I never would have been able to. But this is what I'm saying, guys. We have to be educated about the Constitution. Salvation is found in the Bible, right? Your roadmap to freedom is your Constitution. If you don't know it and you don't own it, how can we move this country forward? There are so many things that are happening in government right now, and I'm going to tell you the relevance to what I just shared a second ago. So many things that are happening in government that were illegal precedences that were grandfathered in. A precedent, right? Not a president, but a precedent, right? Meaning, like, you have legal precedents which are set into place, which is like, hey, there was a court ruling and something happened, and now, attorneys will refer to that court ruling. Well, that's happening over and over again in our government, and because we don't know the Constitution and we don't stand up as a federation of states, we get taken over. For example, in the 1800s, okay, there are three ways that Supreme Court justices get approved for office, okay, or get set into office as a Supreme Court justice. They have to be appointed by the President of the United States, okay? They have to be confirmed by the Senate, and then they have to be given what's called a commission, which my understanding from Doug is it's this written form that the Secretary of State under the President has to bring to the judge, kind of like confirming them, so to speak. It's part of the process. It's the third step. So when John Adams was president, okay, John Adams, they used to have the period where kind of like the lame duck period of the president wasn't January 20th, it was actually March. And don't go into some craziness about March and January. I'm not going down that road. But what would happen is the president, even after the November 3rd election, instead of having until January to still make rulings of law and change law and change, and basically govern, he had till March to do that. So John Adams goes in, November 3rd election. Jefferson ends up winning. There's a story behind that, but I'm not going to go into it. Jefferson ends up winning. And between November and January, there was a period of time where basically John Adams went in and basically, got 8, 9, however many judges appointed across the country, not only in the Supreme Court, but from a federal court standpoint. So John Adams' Secretary of State was John Marshall. So listen to this. There were a bunch of people that got their commission, right? A bunch of judges that got their commission, but there was one that didn't, and his name was Marbury, okay? And so Marbury, when Jefferson became, you got to stay with all the M names, right? I get confused on the M's. When Marbury was supposed to get commissioned, he didn't. That commission rolled over to the Jefferson Administration, the administration right after John Adams. So John Adams, he commissions all these guys for judgeship, if you will. Not all of them get their commission, the third step in the process. So those commissions rolled over to President Jefferson. Well, President Jefferson had different politics than Adams did. His Secretary of State was Madison, James Madison, who happened to be the president after Jefferson. And Madison gets this commission at his table. Congress says, hey, you got to deliver this commission. And Madison is getting all this attention, and they're telling him, hey, you got to deliver this commission. He asked Jefferson. Jefferson's like, nada. Because John Adams and Jefferson didn't like each other. He's like, I'm not doing that. I didn't sign up for that. So he ends up not delivering Madison ends up not delivering the commission to this Marbury guy. So what does Marbury do? Marbury sues Madison. Okay, Marbury sues Madison. And so there's a famous court case called Marbury versus Madison, somewhere in the 1800s. Doug told me the date. I can't remember it. And in Marbury versus Madison, guess who the judge, the Chief Justice over that case was? John Marshall. Well, who did I tell you John Marshall was? John Marshall was the Secretary of State for John Adams, the previous president that didn't agree with Jefferson, right? And basically what happened is Marshall was delivering the commissions, and the one he didn't have time for was Marbury. So now there's this fight between Marbury and Madison in court, and John Marshall, the former Secretary of State, is the guy overseeing this. So when we think about government, overreach, and the infringement on what's happening now, and the corruption, what you have to remember is this is, to Doug's point, been going on for over 230 years. The corruption's been happening. Okay? And why do I tell you that? Because everybody's talking about judicial review. We're talking about packing the court. We're talking about extra senators. And the reason why that's relevant is because they're trying to get extra senators. They're trying to make DC a separate state so they can get 2 more senators to have a majority in the Senate. Why? So they can pack the court. 100% why they're doing it. This is why you got to come to constitutional classes on Thursday nights from 6 to 7. Doug is an epic teacher. He's taught me so much. He's leveled up my game. He and I are going to start teaching classes together because we complement each other so well. He's a details guy. I get you excited about a funny story, right? But here's the cool thing that happened with Madison versus Marbury. John Marshall rules over it. Once they vote, okay, here's what Marshall said to all the other justices. He said, yeah, you're not going to be able to have an opinion about this. I'm going to be the only opinion that writes for all the people that agreed with this decision. He said, anybody that had a dissenting opinion on the Supreme Court, guess what? You're not going to be able to write your dissenting opinion. I'll only accept one negative opinion. So in Marshall's opinion that he wrote, at the end of it, he talked about judicial review. And you can ask Doug on Thursday night what exactly he wrote in regards to that. But basically what he said is, the Supreme Court should be able to say that a law is unconstitutional. Well, what am I telling you? I'm telling you the whole basis of the Supreme Court and the way they do business, where they basically say something is unconstitutional, that wasn't their role initially. Their initial role was basically to say, right, this is what the law says. This is what the law doesn't say. And they were supposed to rule on the law. But now you have the federal government basically deciding. The federal government is now deciding what law is. What laws are good laws and what laws aren't. It was never designed to be that way. The Supreme Court was never set up that way. And that's all I'm going to say. Tune into our constitutional classes, 1776foreverfree.com. I hope you were blessed by this. 6 to 7 p.m. on Thursdays, okay? I'm going to start sharing my training with you, not only to move, touch, and inspire you, but get you to share it and show you the value of leveling up your knowledge around our beautiful Constitution. God bless you guys. Keep fighting. Keep pushing. Our kids and the future of this republic are worth it. Semper Fi.